Welcome once again. What is unity in paragraph development? Paragraph unity requires the careful development of the idea in the paragraph. To achieve this, each sentence must show a clear connection to the topic sentence. Let me show you a sample paragraph to illustrate my point. The people's community is not an actual place, but an assortment of principles. The friendship among members, the common tao feeling, the sharing syndrome are all central to the member's sense of belongingness. Second paragraph, the community is located in a landscape where members can commune with everyday happenings, going to the market, haggling, wrestling with traffic, and others. Third, their culture contains many caring, loving, down-to-earth dealings with the people in the middle of noise, pollution, and congestion. 4. But whatever is offered to the members of this community, life goes on as time passes by. Notice that each succeeding sentence casts light on the topic. All the sentences together focus on the distinguishing features of the people's community. Any sentence that drifts away from the topic blurs the focus of the paragraph and obscures the purpose. The second major requirement of an effective paragraph is completeness. The extent to which an idea is explained is determined by the kind of explanation the readers need. The writer decides this on the basis of his or her knowledge of the subject. Now, too much information can overwhelm the readers. Too little can annoy them. Inexperienced writers tend to supply too little detail. Consider this example. Sign language is a language unto itself. It has its own rules that determine the meaning and significance of each gesture. Experts familiar with these rules can use their hands to communicate extremely complex thoughts. If that is all the writer says about sign language, most readers will find the paragraph incomplete because the first two sentences are mere statements of the topic. This paragraph would only satisfy readers already familiar with sign language, and even then, such readers would not even need this brief paragraph. The writer must provide further explanation. Take a look at this paragraph this time. Sign language is a language unto itself with its own syntax and grammar. Adjectives follow nouns, as in Romance languages. In sign, one says, "House blue," establishing a picture of what is being described and then embellishing on that. Many sign language sentences begin with a time element and then proceed with what happened, thereby conjugating the verbs, the movement of the shoulders, the speed of the hands, the facial expression, the number of repetitions of a sign. All these combine with the actual signs to give meaning to the language. How different is this paragraph from the first? Obviously, the additions to the paragraph clarify the concept of sign language. Detailed information is necessary to make the meaning of the short paragraph clear. Of course, you can tell your students that they can always begin with a short paragraph if their purpose is to state the idea and then develop the topic sentence in greater detail in a subsequent paragraph. In that case, the second paragraph would complete the first paragraph. These examples demonstrate that your students need to spell out the implications of a topic sentence with facts, illustrations, whatever is needed. Unless they give the readers the necessary information, they will fail to achieve their purpose. They easily could give flesh, so to speak, to incomplete paragraphs once they realize that every generalization must be developed with supporting details. The third major requirement of an effective paragraph is order. You saw in the previous examples that when sentences point in various directions, readers are likely to have trouble following the writer's line of reasoning. What is order in paragraph writing? Order in a paragraph is like organization in an essay, but because paragraphs are smaller in scope, it may be more appropriate to describe order as direction of movement. There are 4 directional patterns in expository paragraphs, and these are 1. From general to particular, 2. From particular to general, 3. From whole to parts, 4. From question to answer, or from effect to cause. Let's take up the first directional pattern, general to particular. This pattern moves from a general statement, often a topic sentence, to specific explanations or illustrations of that statement. You saw this kind of classification in the paragraph on sign language. The purpose of the paragraph is to help the reader understand the general statement. That meaning becomes increasingly clear as the paragraph progresses. A particular to general pattern reverses the preceding pattern. It begins with specific information and leads to a general conclusion, as in this example. We look at family photographs in which we stand next to plush and posh backgrounds and in which we are wearing period costumes, and we do not gaze fascinated because there we are, young again, or there we are standing, as we never will again in life, next to our mother. We stare and drift because there we are, historical. It is the dress or the shirt, the red car that interests us now, and our mother's arms, which once caught us. We reach into the attractive impersonality of something more significant than ourselves. Notice that the writer uses several general to particular patterns to discuss the search for a family past. In the example, she reverses the order to emphasize the particulars, family photograph, and then she returns to the general to particular order in the next paragraph, when she explores the impersonality of history. Sometimes the purpose of a paragraph is to show the parts or divisions of a topic. Let's take a look at how a teacher makes her students see that one directional pattern in writing expository paragraphs is from whole to parts.
Class, I'd like you to read this composition on friends. Later, I shall ask you to find out how this was developed. Now, can someone read the text, please? Everyone's raising his or her hand. Very good. How about Donna?
There are medium friends, pretty good friends, and very good friends indeed. And these friendships are defined by their level of intimacy. And what we will reveal at each of these levels of intimacy is calibrated with care. We might tell a medium friend, for example, that yesterday we had a fight with our husband. And we might tell a pretty good friend that this fight with our husband made us so mad that we slept on the couch. And we might tell a very good friend that the reason we got so mad in that fight that we slept on the couch had something to do with that girl who works in his office. But it's only to our very best friends that we're willing to tell all, to tell what's going on with that girl in his office.
Thank you, Donna. That was well done. Now, class, I have one question, okay? What does the opening statement seem to announce? Yes, who can answer that? How about Jordash?
I think that there are divisions, ma'am.
And what do you mean by that?
I mean, there are 3 types of friends mentioned. And they are medium friends, pretty good friends, and very good friends.
Okay, very good. What do the rest of the paragraph identify? Yes, Russell?
Ma'am, they identify and define each part.
And how do we call the order of the paragraph parts in this? You can answer that. Okay, we call it partitive or enumerative. Russell, you seem to have a question, yes?
Ma'am, why do we call it partitive?
Let me throw the question back to you. Okay, why do you call the order partitive? What do you think is the reason? Yes.
Ma'am, the paragraph seems to have partitions or divisions, while at the same time, it seems to enumerate things.
Very good. That's correct, Jenny.
The students were really good, weren't they? Remember, the partitive or enumerative paragraph is often used in arguments, either to introduce the issues to be considered or to summarize a discussion. In expository writing, it is used to introduce the categories to be analyzed. We will take up the last directional pattern when we return. Stay tuned.